guys. Okay, so I'm going to go over Experiment 1's Task 2 and 3 data analysis. So for the first part, it says to determine the concentrations of iodide and thiosulfate and peroxydisulfate. So determine the concentrations of iodide, thiosulfate, and peroxydisulfate. Okay, so in these reactions, so you have reactions 1 and 4, reactions 1 and 4, 2 and 5, 3 and 6. So when you mix these reactions, so you remix the large test tubes with the small test tubes, for reaction 1 and 4, the total volume is 12 milliliters. So this is going to be our M2. So for this, so to find concentrations, you need to use the equation M1V1 equals M2V2. Okay? So the total volume for each reaction is actually going to be the same. So these are all 12 milliliters. Okay? So the next step is to figure out the concentration of iodine. So if we look on our sheet, we have 0.20 molar potassium iodide. So 0.20 molar potassium iodide. This is going to allow us to calculate the actual concentration of iodide within the reaction. Okay? So how I like to set this up is M1V1 equals M2V2. So what I have is on this side, and what I want is on this side. So I know I have concentration of 0.20 molar of iodide. And the reason it doesn't say potassium iodide, we're not trying to find the concentration of potassium iodide because potassium is actually a spectator ion in this reaction. So it doesn't help out at all. So we're finding the concentration of iodide because it actually is in the chemical reaction. Okay? So 0.20 molar for the concentration of iodide is what we have. And we know that we use 2 milliliters of this. And then what we want at the end is our unknown, M2, because we want to know the original concentration. Oops, I just realized that this is supposed to be V2, our volume. Okay, and then we want at the end 12 milliliters, because that's our total volume. Okay, so then we rearrange this to figure out M2, so we're going to divide each side by 12, and M2, which is our concentration of iodide in our solution, is 0.033 molar. Okay, all right, so for the other two ions, it's the exact same. So the thiosulfate, M1V1 equals M2V2. What I have for this guy is, let's see, so 0.005. Okay, so I have 0.005 molar, and then I use 2 milliliters. And then I want to figure out the actual concentration, and I have 12 milliliters at the end. So this concentration is going to be 0.00083, 0.00083 molar of our thiosulfate ion. Okay? And then the last part is our peroxydisulfate ion, and the concentration that we have is 0.1 molar. Okay, so we have 0.1 molar, and we are going to use the first, so this is test tube 4, we use 2 millimeters, or 2 milliliters. And then we don't know the concentration, but we know we have 12 milliliters. Okay? And then rearrange that. M2 equals 0.017 molar of our peroxydisulfate. So these are the concentrations for reaction 1 and 4. So then, if you look at the different concentrations, or the other reactions, you can see that reaction 2 has the same amount of iodide in it, so we know that that is the same concentration. And then reaction 3 and 6 have 4 milliliters instead of 2 milliliters, so that's just double. So we would just double this concentration. So for reaction 3 and 6, our concentration of iodide is actually 0.067. Okay, so I would just substitute the 2 milliliters for 4. And then that gives us that concentration. Okay, and then if we look at the thiosulfate, it's throughout all of the reactions, it's all 2 milliliters, so that concentration never changes. And then for our peroxydisulfate, reaction 2 and 5 has 4 milliliters of this instead of 2 milliliters. So reaction 2 and 5, again, we're going to change the 2 milliliters to 4 milliliters, and then it would just double. So we're going to double this amount, so M2 equals 0.033 molar. And that is number 1.